Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 14 of our journey through Habakkuk. Today's scripture is Psalms 46, verse 10. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations, and I will be exalted in the earth." After an intense journey of wrestling with God, waiting for answers, and learning to trust in his sovereignty, Habakkuk reaches a place of deep, unshakable faith. His circumstances have not changed, but his heart has. He no longer demands explanation. Instead, he rests in who God is. The same invitation is extended to us in Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. In a world filled with noise and distractions and endless demands, stillness can feel unnatural, even uncomfortable. We are conditioned to believe that progress requires constant movement, that our problems only will be solved through effort, planning, and striving. But God calls us to something radically different: to pause, to be still, and to trust. Stillness is not doing nothing, it's surrendering everything. Stillness before God does not mean passivity. It does not mean we stop working, stop thinking, or we don't make any decisions. Instead, it means we stop striving, releasing the need for the control of everything. And then we trust deeply, believing that God is at work, even when we can't see it. Rest in his peace, drawing close to him rather than rushing ahead. True stillness is a posture of our heart, one that acknowledges that God is God and we are not. It is an act of surrender, a declaration that we must trust his power over our own, his wisdom over our plans, and his timing over our expectations. When we embrace stillness, we are reminded that God is always working. His purpose will be fulfilled. His name will be exalted. He is in control, whether we feel it or not. Habakkuk's journey mirrors our own struggles with faith. He begins with questions, frustrations, and doubt, and yet he ends with peace, confidence, and trust. This transformation happens not because his situation improved, but because he recognized who God is. The same is for us. We all face seasons of uncertainty, waiting, and hardship. But instead of striving for answers, we can choose to rest in God's sovereignty. As we conclude this section of Habakkuk's story, we are invited to follow his example. Stop striving. Lay down the burdens that we carry that we're not meant to carry. Trust deeply, believing that God is working even when we can't see it. And rest in his unfailing presence. Find peace in knowing that he is God and he is good. So, what is one thing that you need to surrender to God today? How can you practice being still as well as trusting in his control? Habakkuk's journey teaches us a wonderful lesson about trust. He starts with frustration and doubt, but as he remembers God's faithfulness, his heart shifts to peace and confidence. Even when life feels uncertain, we can choose to trust God's sovereignty. He is always in control, always working for good, and always faithful. Faith is not having everything figured out. It is about trusting the one who does. So, as we close out week 2, my prayer for you is that um, the Lord bring sovereign over, um, that we thank the Lord for being sovereign over all things, that we learn to trust in him completely, walk in faith, and rejoice in him always. No matter what we face, let our hearts be still and rest in the goodness of God. And as always, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you tomorrow.